Francisco head coach Todd Golden, student athletes Khalil Shabazz and Julian Rishwain. Go ahead and start with an opening comment from Coach Golden.
Tough game. Didn't think we played our best in the first half. I thought we could have done a little better job stopping their push in transition. And offensively, we weren't ourselves. And obviously, didn't have Yang in tonight. Thought it would be better to just rest him for the tournament, make sure he was ready to go next week. And so we knew it was going to be a little more difficult. But with that being said, incredibly proud of the way our guys battled in the second half. I think it was 24 at one point. And these guys next to me, JB, Pat, Josh, specifically that group, did a wonderful job of just continuing to battle, staying in the game, not letting themselves off the hook, not letting themselves just cash it in. We got that thing down to 8 with about a minute and a half to go with the ball multiple times, chances to cut it to 6 or 5. And, we outscored them by 10 in the second half. I'm not sure anybody's done that against them all year, with the exception of St. Mary's last week. So, there's no moral victories, but at the end of the day, a 10-point loss to these guys, not the end of the world. And, I'm really excited for our group, to make the first tournament this year since 1998. And we're going to take some time off these next couple days and make sure we're ready to go both physically and mentally next week as we enter the tournament.
Okay, we'll go ahead from the room and take questions for the student athletes only at this time. Raise your hand, we'll bring you the mic.
Julian, the last 3-4 weeks, your offensive game has gone up exponentially. Why?
I think just confidence myself, the coach's confidence, my teammates' confidence to find me open. Coming into March, just some special feeling, and I don't know, I'm just kind of getting myself going. Just looking forward to these games, and I want to keep playing. So I think that's kind of boosted me to excel my game the last couple of weeks.
Khalil, what does it mean to you in the program to experience what you're probably going to experience on Sunday, what everybody expects you to experience Sunday and getting in the tournament?
It's the best feeling. Like Coach said, it hasn't happened since '98, and I was born in '98, so that's a long time. So it's the best feeling. Not only for for me, but like for the whole program and everything we've been going through these last 4 years since I've been here. It means a lot to the community. It means a lot to San Francisco, and all the donors, all the alumni, everything. Everybody's been a part of it. So with us making this a reality, which will be on Sunday, it'll be a good feeling.
For Khalil, a tale of two halves for you today. What happened in the first half? What got you going in the second half?
I think it's just a matter of, like Julian said, the confidence from the coaches, my teammates, stuff like that. It's a tale. It's two halves. Regardless of what happens in the first half, whether you're hot or whether you're not, just keep shooting. Trust yourself. Trust your shot. Trust the play. Whatever the case may be. Just keep shooting, regardless if you're 10 for 10 or 1 for 20. Just keep shooting.
Okay, other questions in the room?
It's for Khalil. I think you're pretty close with Nolan Hickman. Is that correct on Gonzaga?
Yeah.
Can you just talk about your relationship with him a little bit?
That's little bro. We both played for Seattle Rotary Style growing up. Little in-house team. They went to EYBL and stuff like that. So I watched him grow up, become a McDonald's All-American, whatever the case may be. He's a pretty good player. Next year, definitely be his show to run. This year is kind of getting in the flow of things and, kind of learning from Nimhard and the guys above him. But, yeah, that's definitely little bro. He's going to be a good player.
Okay, we'll move over to Zoom for the student athletes. We've got Jeff Ferrato. Go ahead, Jeff.
Yeah, Khalil, can you just talk about, what the impact of not having Masalski was tonight?
It's huge. He's an inside presence. He's a great defender. We're missing 10 points and 10 rebounds today. So we definitely missed him, but we'll be happy to have him back when it comes time for the tournament.
Okay, we'll go to Kellen King on Zoom. Go ahead, Kellen.
Will, you guys were down 20 at the half and down 20 late to the second half, but you guys kept fighting, you kept going the deuce. How do you keep that confidence and just keep playing? You guys were able to get it down to 8 at the end of the day.
I think it's just a testament of our coaches and our program. We're never going to quit, And I think the guys on our team have the same mentality as that. We're never going to quit, regardless if we're down by 30 or not. We're going to play to the shot hits. The shot clock hits 0-0. And yeah, that's what we did today. We cut it down to 8, like Coach said. Unfortunately, we couldn't get it done, but it was big to just show that we could fight, and we're always going to fight regardless of the score.
Okay, anybody else for the student athletes? Okay, you guys are good to go. Two of you. Yep.
Great job, Phil.
Thank you.
We'll go ahead and get going with questions for Coach Golden, first from in the room.
Hey, Todd. I'm just wondering, having faced them 3 times now, how you've seen Holmgren's progression as this season's gone along.
Yeah, the biggest jump we saw was between the first and second time we played them. I mentioned this after we played them the second time. The scout that we had the first time we played him was to really kind of allow him to shoot a little bit or take our chances with him trying to operate on the perimeter as opposed to inside the post. And the second time we played them, that just didn't. It wasn't an option for us because he was shooting the ball so well, And he just. You knew how talented he was, but there were moments early on in the season where he didn't always show how good he could be. I've thought over the past month he's really just taken it to another level and just really just gotten a lot more aggressive and a lot more physical. And again, he gave us problems tonight, 17 and 8. He had some ridiculous plays in transition. And he's just a phenomenal rim protector, and he guards their 5s, and they do a really good job. They're smart. They keep him around the rim, make it really hard, and we have really good guards that can penetrate and usually rim finish. Jamari is one of the best rim finishing guards in the country. And, Chet just makes it really hard on him. And as I said last time, I think, he struggled against St. Mary's last week. I think that was a little bit of an aberration. I think he's a generational player, and I think he's going to be one of the top 3 players picked next year.
Coach, I think all of us around here are speaking absolutes. You've spoken absolute about it. Is there any nervousness at all going into Sunday for you? I mean, it seems like the resume speaks for itself.
Yeah, I don't have any concerns. I think Saturday was the big game for us. Our resume at that point, I think, was definitely already good enough. But, as we always talk about within our program, we want to control the controllables and not let any decision come into question. And I think if we would have lost on Saturday, I think this would have been a really tough week for us, just sitting around waiting. Rooting for teams like Davidson to win their league, rooting for the Murray States, the Loyolas, the Chicagos, the teams that, could lead to bid-stealing leagues. But after, the commanding 12-point win on Saturday night against a top 50 team, I think kind of put us in that safe zone. If you ask Andy Katz, Joe Lenardi, any bracketologist around, we're 100% lock. And so now it's a little more of a question about our seeding. And with that being said, our result tonight, I think we were 14-point dogs tonight. We lost by 10. So, I mean, our predictive numbers will go up a little bit potentially. And I don't think you can have a loss against the number 1 team in the country held over your head. If we were safely locked in after Saturday night, I don't think that'll change today.
Todd, one concern I think you might have it would be Yauhin's health.
Yeah.
Are you certain he'll be able to play in a week and a half?
Yeah, absolutely. Today the question was simple, We felt like Saturday was locking this in for us. And so now it's like, all right, do we put him in a situation where he might hurt himself worse and not be able to play in the tournament? Or are we going to say, hey, listen, let's see what we got tonight in this game, knowing that if we give him a good week of rest, that he's going to be ready to go full throttle next week. And that was my decision. I thought that was what was in the best interest of him as a student athlete, as well as our team and the program moving forward, trying to make a deep run in March.
You spoke of 1998 and droughts are often part of sports,
Yeah.
all sports. What did you find to be the hardest thing about ending one?
Where do you want me to start? No, it's listen, this league is incredibly unique. For people that have followed this league, I played in this league, it's obviously turned into a great league, but having the number 1 team in the country makes it, super difficult to get at larges, and St. Mary's has been able to do it every now and again. BYU's done it, I think, 1 or 2 times since they've came in the league. But there's a reason why outside of those 3 teams, nobody's done it since, I think, Pepperdine in the early 2000s or maybe early 2000s. Yeah, to get an at-large, right? And, I mean, so we're sitting here doing something that hasn't been done in 20 years. And really it's a incredible combination of just fantastic student athletes, guys that are mature, old, willing to work together, willing to put the team first and sacrifice. for the greater good of the group. I've been fortunate enough to surround myself with a great staff. My staff has done an incredible job all year. Chris Gerlison's done a great job as my associate head, and the rest of the staff's done a great job. And, when you have a bunch of really good people with talented student athletes and they're all pulling the same way, you can do some special things. And I think, that's what this group has been able to do since June 15th when we got together on campus. And, I think we're 21st in KenPom, we're 24th in the net. It's absurd, to be honest. I mean, it's amazing for the University of San Francisco to be 21st in KenPom. That we'd be favored on neutral courts against Michigan State, Providence, these other teams that are going to be 4s and 5 seeds in the tournament. It's just a heck of an accomplishment. I'm incredibly proud, but it's less about me and more about our student athletes and my staff. Jim.
So you haven't been in the tournament before. Do you talk to somebody like Randy or even Mark Few about prepping for it and what you do over the next 10 days? Or
I played in 2 of them. So, I do, and I remember them very well. As you can imagine, they were great moments for me, both personally and as a team. And honestly, it's funny, but the pressure is now off, going into the tournament. It's more of like, hey, let's just see what we can do, and there's other programs nationally that will probably feel pressure entering the tournament, like how deep can we go, what can we do? We're playing with house money for the rest of the season, so we're going to approach it that way. We're going to have a lot of fun with it. Our practices are going to be lively. We're going to be, competing a lot, seeing what we can do, and just making sure we're really prepared for whoever our first round matchup is. But we're going to take some time to rest. We'll practice once or twice before Sunday, trying to stay sharp. But I'm just incredibly excited to sit there with our team and staff and just hear our names get called. And it's going to be an incredibly special moment that we'll remember for the rest of our lives.
You mentioned Chet influence on Jamari finishing. What else did you see three-point line? Because those just aren't numbers we're used to seeing from Jamari.
No, I think that was a big part of it, to be honest, because he had some trouble finishing inside early, and that usually gets him going. He's usually able to get downhill and make some tough finishes around the rim, and it kind of loosens him up. Not having Yalian out there was definitely part of it, too. Yalian is a really good secondary playmaker for us in regards to playing through him offensively, whether it's in the post or in the perimeter. And so we were just, we weren't ourselves. We had to make a big adjustment going into this game and play without Yalian. And so I think it took us a while to kind of figure that out and to center ourselves. And I think the second half was a great example of once we got comfortable, it allowed us to get back into the point where we were competing as hard as we needed to. And we outscored them by 10 in the second half. So a lot of positives in that sense, not so much in the first half where we got down.
Todd, in terms of building your resume, how important was the non-conference scheduling and playing a lot of good level teams and not many lower level teams?
Yeah, no, we're pretty analytical in our processes. And so, when we schedule, every game on our schedule has been well thought out, well placed, or attempted to be well placed, depending upon if we can get it in a good spot. But we don't want any what we would call like number killer games where we're playing if whatever you gotta kill your quad fours if you want to have any sort of benefit of playing those games. I think one thing that we should get credit for, especially is we played Arizona State on the back-to-back in the non-conference just because we couldn't get a high major to play us otherwise. So we played them on a Sunday afternoon after playing the day before and won. And Davidson was a huge win for us. Towson, I know they lost today, but they won 24 games. People that follow college basketball and follow the numbers, they were the 65th or 67th KenPom team going into today. I mean, they would be, the 5th or 6th best team in the pack by those numbers. So there are a lot of great things in our non-conference. We had that one stretch where we played, I think, 7 or 8 games that were top 100 games or top 120 games in a row. Won all but one of them, and I think that was what really built the foundation for our resume, and that allowed us to continue to add on to it. And obviously the two big road wins in conference at BYU by double digits and at Santa Clara by 16 right after they beat St. Mary's were huge wins, and really they were top 5 type team performances in the country. Like, people don't go into BYU and win by 14. They were 35-3, I think, before in Pope's tenure, all those losses to Gonzaga. So we're really proud of that. And like I said, our resume speaks for ourselves at this point. There's not one weakness on it, and for that we're really proud.
Got a couple questions on Zoom, and then we'll get it wrapped up. We'll go to Jeff Ferrado on Zoom.
Hey, Todd, just to be clear, what is the nature of Gonzalski's injury? Is it just a bang?
Bruise,
Is it a
yeah.
bruise?
Yeah.
Okay, and if it was a different kind of situation, a must-win, or a tournament game, an NCAA tournament game, might he play tonight?
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
We'll go to Kellen King on Zoom.
Coach, you guys got off to a bit of a slow start today. You guys have had the same starting lineup for the first 32 games of the season. Do you think having one of those 5 pieces missing was a factor in you guys' slow start today?
Yeah, I believe so. You know, we've been fortunate with the injuries and guys not missing a lot of time this year, and we've had a lot of continuity, and we built off that. And our starting group has been amazing all year. They've played like a top 10, 15, 20 team together all year. And so, like, you know, starting Josh has a lot of experience. He started a lot of games for us his first 2 years. But it wasn't the same. And I think we missed that continuity early. And we just weren't ourselves. We weren't as aggressive offensively, a little softer defensively. And like I said earlier, I think it took us a while to kind of recalibrate and center ourselves. And halftime allowed us to do that. And I thought our effort was much better. We outscored them by 10 in the second half. I mean, I think that speaks for itself. But it just took us a while to get into that zone.
Okay, do we have a final question from anybody for Coach? Okay, thank you, Coach. Oh, go ahead. Final question. Go ahead.
Coach, can you just talk a little bit about the spot the league is in? 3 teams definitely in the tournament, BYU still in the mix, and other teams like Santa Clara and Portland are much improved from years past.
Yeah, it's undoubtedly the best the league's ever been. It's not close, to be honest. And I think Santa Clara, you know, being in this mix as well. You have Gonzaga, the number 1 team in the country, same areas. I think they're 15th or 16th in the country. We're 24th in the net. BYU's right around 50. Santa Clara's right around 65, I think. I mean, 5 teams in the top 65 in the WCC. It's just unheard of. And then to your point, Portland, I think, had won 7 out of 8 coming into this, or 7 out of 9. It's just deep. It's deep. There's no nights off. You know, there's no teams like there has been in the past where you can just go and just chalk it up to a 15, 20-point victory. And so I think it wears on you. And we played all 16 games this year and did a really good job of, you know, continuing to play well and finish strong. And so to be, you know, 24-9 after the regular season in the conference tournament is a heck of an accomplishment that we're really proud of.
Great. Thank you, Coach.
Yep. Thank you, guys.